Greetings, welcome. I'm here, I'm on time, and I am 85% sure that I fixed all the stuff. Sound should be coming out of this thing, looks like it is. It should be neither too quiet nor too loud. My kitty is eating her lunch over there. I would pick her up, but she's eating, so I don't want to disturb her. I don't like when people pick me up when I'm trying to eat. And it should be mostly aligned. It's not going to be perfect, but I have it, I think, better than last week. The only thing that I don't have is I don't have a way. So I figured out what went wrong last time. It had to do with the I'm streaming on wireless because and I have exhaustively tried. There's just no way to wire internet into a setup that I can get up on my counter here. So we're just gonna hope the Wi-Fi doesn't do the thing again. I mean, we were fine for like 5 streams, so we're gonna be fine again. Welcome everybody. Woot baking time. Sup everybody, thank you for coming. I'm going to be trying to make, never done it before, a Bloodberry Tart, which is like, it looks like that. I've never really had any success with any sort of pie thing, but we're going to try again. And the first thing that I need to do, because it needs to chill in the fridge for a while, so we're going to get started on this right away, is I need to make some flaky pie dough, which means that I'm doing this from scratch, so wish me luck. We're going to take some flour, some butter, and some water. And at first I was really excited, because half the reason that I got this food processor, was because every time I try and make like pie dough or pastry dough, it's like, yo, just like chop it up in your food processor and get in little bits. And I'm like, I can't. I don't have one. And then I like stab it with forks. And you remember the stabbing thing. It wasn't great. So I got one. And then I go to make the Bloodberry Tart. And I look at the pie dough thing. And it's like, okay, rub half of the butter until you have small pieces the size of peas. And then using your palm, press the other half of them into flat flakes. Which is more finesse than my food processor has. I have made a couple things in that. And I keep trying to like make the perfect hash browns because I figure now that I can not automatically, but now that I can easily grate potatoes, I figured I should learn how to make hash browns because I love hash browns. And it's not easy. Also, one time I like grated them, but I had accidentally forgotten that I had left the knife thing in the bottom, so it grated them and then it pulverized them into like goo. And I was like, what do I do with potato goo? So I tried to make them anyways. It was not good. Okay, so I'm going to measure up my flour. I am a little low on flour, but I think I have enough. I need 2¼ cups, and I have like... Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm going to start measuring right now. I will chat more once I have this chilling, although if you've been to any of these, you know how well that goes. Kitty, what's up? She's always so curious when I'm talking to myself. I'm never talking in the kitchen. Typically, I'll have like headphones on, because I have my wireless headphones now, and I'll just be like bopping out to whatever it is that I happen to be listening to at the time. 2¼ cups. Here's a cup. My quarter cup, quarter cup, quarter cup, quarter cup, quarter cup, quarter cup. It'll do. It's not marked anymore. I keep telling myself I'm gonna like engrave or like Sharpie or somehow other way denote the smaller ones where the thing is wearing off, but I'm just gonna have to learn what they look like by sight. I have my other chat over here, so if I'm like peering into my wallets because I am reading chat. Looks delicious. We make a pie like that for Thanksgiving. Yeah, I'm gonna try it. Like, I figure I would like to be able to do stuff like that. I would like to be the person that, like, brings, like, a nice dessert like that to a Thanksgiving. And I figure it's, what, July? If I start doing this now, I have, a good amount of time to figure out what I'm doing wrong before Thanksgiving rolls around. Because I do not think that I'm good at anything on the first try. Or sometimes, in the case of the hash browns, the second or the third or the fourth try. But you know what? We're gonna get there one day. I am about a lot of things, but giving up is not one of them. Hi Hazel, sup Shavak? She should have a team of gnomes helping her. I mean, how do you know that I don't? They would be quite short, You wouldn't necessarily be able to see them. Like, they might be below, like, you can't really see my knees unless I get all the way back here. And they might be below knee height, because my knees are a fair ways off the ground. So, it wants me to take, I don't think I need this anymore. I think I'm done with this. 1 stick of butter. Cut it in half. Medium-sized bowl, or half the butter, yeah. So 1 cold stick of salted butter. Now, it's unsalted, but I guess I'll just, like, throw some salt on it. That doesn't seem like it's a big deal. These are probably the problems that are preventing me from being a professional. Well, not a professional, but a competent baker. We could see their hair. Oh, the gnomes. That's true. Especially if they have that one that's like a beehive, but like a skinny beehive for, like, 6 bees. That one. All right, so here's 1 stick of butter. It's unsalted, so we're just going to, like, throw some salt in. And, hope for the best. Although, hoping for the best, it didn't work out. I mean, it worked out okay. The manna buns that we did earlier, they were good. I'm still eating them. They're great, but they definitely did not rise. They're kind of like manna cookies, but like, an inch or so tall. It's difficult to explain. I'm going to take off my ring because otherwise I'm going to get butter all up in it. I'm going to wash my hands one more time. Because anytime that I'm, like, getting real in there, it's not a bad idea. If you had kitchen gnomes, everything would be prepped right. My life would be so much easier. I feel like 80% of the time that I spend cooking is just, like, chopping and mixing things. Although, now that I have a food processor, I make it chop and mix stuff for me, even if it would be better to do it by hand. Like, I was trying to make cabbage cakes, and I was like, I'm just going to get this to chop up my cabbage, and I, like, press the button, like, one time for, like, a second, and it's like, and all of a sudden I have, like, cabbage mush. I'm like, well, this'll do. This is fine. This is totally what I wanted. And it has settings. It has 1, 2, and pulse, but the pulse doesn't pulse. And 1 and 2, I swear to God, are the exact same thing. So I don't know. But it's a little bit scary. It's kind of violent, the ferocity with which it processes food. And I kind of like it. I kind of like how, like, off the hinge it is. So I'm keeping it. So I need to chop this up. So this half gets rubbed into butter, into pea-sized bits. And then the other half gets pressed with my palm into flakes. Wouldn't they just end up flaky anyways? Like, I don't know how important the shaping of the butter is, but I'm following the recipe exactly because so far it hasn't led me wrong, and I trust Miss Chelsea, so we're doing it her way. I have a mini food processor and I love it for onions. Oh, that's the other thing actually. I was making a sweet and sour like stir fry, and I was chopping up some carrots and onions for it, and it did a great job of the onions, and I love that because normally I really, really, really hate chopping up onions because you know how it, like, makes you cry. Like, everybody knows that. But not only does it make me cry, it hurts. I'm crying because it hurts my eyeballs. And I kind of thought about, like, what if I just get, like, science goggles? Like, you know, the lab goggles that people wear in, like, science places? Like, and I was wondering what people do in, like, professional kitchens, and I looked it up, and apparently they just, like, suffer until it doesn't hurt them anymore. And I don't cook with onions often enough for that. I don't often feel like I need onions. Hello, Chef Hazel. Yo, what's up, Flabby? Dude, I really want you to try your tea, and I understand why you can't right now, but it bothers me. I was so excited for you to try it. I really want you to particularly try the jasmine one and the dragon one. Hazel, what can I get with nuts? Nothing, really. You can save them up. You can use them for gambling. There is a leaderboard showing who has the most nuts, although only I can see it, so I don't know what the good of that is. But the one thing that you can do is every now and then, not on the baking streams, but you can collect nuts on the baking streams. But every once in a while, at the end of a WoW stream, I will do a pet giveaway in exchange for nuts. We did one of those at the very end of the last stream. And the way that works is it's a raffle, so you can buy entries with your nuts. And, you know, more nuts is more chances to get the pet if you want it. They're not going to be, like, super crazy pets. I'm not going to pre-level them or anything. I save that for the Patreon pet giveaways, because now I have to do, like, 5 or 6 of them. It's getting to be, like, a lot of pets to level up. But if I have, like, an extra pet that I, like, picked up off the auction house, or, you know, we had drop while we were doing a Mog run or something, then I will totally give that away in the end of the stream in exchange for nut raffles. I use my food processor for one thing currently, and that is hummus. I'm scared to use it for other things. I've heard it's good for making, like, dressings and tahini. I want to try hummus, but my husband can't eat it, and I don't know how much hummus I can eat as one person. I feel like it would be a waste to make hummus for just me. And I also feel like, I know it's not, but I feel really rude making things that he can't eat, because he'll come in the kitchen and be like, yo, what are you doing? And I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. All right, so I think those are about the size of peas. So these other ones, I need to get similarly sized bits, but I need to press them into flat flakes with my palm. Sure, why not? Should I chop it up? I'm going to stab it up a bit more first. Let's go ahead. Giant tip: when you use your measuring cups, throw it in your hand before you put it in whatever mixture you have. If you ever lose your cups, you learn to visualize the size. Oh, like throw the thing that I'm measuring in my hand? Like, even, like, flour and sugar and stuff? Wouldn't it just, like, be hard to quantify in a handful? Like, I could totally see that for, like... No, I don't understand. When you throw it in your hand, like, before you put in... No, I'm thinking, because I know some people totally bake like that. Like, they'll just grab the thing, and they'll know exactly how much, and they're just, like, wizards. And I'm wondering if I possess the necessary skills to make that happen. I'm not 100% sure that I do. All right, so I have, like, a bunch of bits. I'm going to make them a little smaller. Maybe cut these into half one more time. I'm pretty sure that I could just do this in my food processor and it would be just fine. But you know what? We're going by the book. So I have some butter bits. I'm going to press them with my palms into flat flakes. It probably didn't mean one at a time, but you know what? Whatever. You link the leaderboard. I can't. It's not on the web. I have it on my desktop PC in part of an application. I could take a screenshot and then link that if I uploaded it, but I don't have the ability to do it right now because that computer's 2 rooms away and my hands are covered in butter. Wet your knife and chop the onions fast. Press the knife against your middle of phalange and arc the tip of your fingers inwards. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm always hesitant of chopping anything fast because I am notably uncoordinated, and I have actually removed parts of my hands with kitchen knives before by accident. I have a fairly sizable scar on the tip of one of my middle fingers where I took it off and then had to get it, taped back on. Have you heard of Wizard? No. Hazel, with your B-Tag, I want to be your friend. I don't add people to B-Tag anymore. What are you making? I just joined. We are making the Bloodberry Tart from the World of Warcraft cookbook, or at least we're going to try. Right now, I am busy... Oh, shoot, I forgot I was supposed to be pressing this. Pardon me. I'm busy pressing flakes of butter into flat discs with the palm of my hand. I've never done this before. Oh, thanks, Norma. Go, happy place. Whoa! Now, are you saying this is the happy place, or you think I need to go to my happy place? Because my happy place, it changes on like a week-to-week basis. Right now, actually, my happy place is the place I've been walking my dog in the morning. It has blackberries growing like adjacent to the path, which they're like everywhere here in Oregon. But I'll just stop because I'm not walking with anybody. There's nobody there to judge me. It's like 6 a.m. There's nobody outside, so I'll just stop and like eat blackberries. I'm like, you know what? I have an extra 10 minutes to walk a little slower and just eat some blackberries, and they're delicious. Like most of the time they're pretty tart, but every once in a while you find that one that's like perfectly ripe, and you manage to pick it without dropping it, and without stabbing yourself, and without what's the other thing that happens? Without like bursting it and like staining your hands. Every once in a while you get that one, and you eat it, and it's just like a miracle in your mouth. Baking with blood, tasty. Yeah. So I have some bloodberries in the freezer. JK. I have some raspberries and blueberries in the freezer, but you know what? For all intents and purposes, they are bloodberries. Bloodberries are like blood elf. Like, there aren't those, I'm thinking of bloodthorn. I'm thinking of that herb that you can pick in Kelthalos. Not Kelthalos. The place where the blood elves start, and then it's got a benefit and a not benefit. I cannot think while I have my hands full of flour. I have officially put the stuff in this stuff. Now it wants me to take a 1/4 cup of cold water, gently mix until I have a mostly cohesive dough. I don't know if I do that with this. I'm going to try and do it with a spoon, and if that's not working, then I'll just get my hands back in there. But I got to get the flour from my hands for now. This is my happy place. I'm really glad that some of you, well, hopefully most of you because you're here, but I am super, super glad that people want to hang out with me while I'm baking, because if that wasn't true, then I would have wasted an awful lot of money on equipment getting this set up. I was actually considering, I didn't do it, and I'm probably not going to, but I was considering if it really came to it, it would be about like $550, but that would get me a little micro ATX desktop that I could just like perch on this counter to set up for streaming. Because the problem I'm having right now is both related to the lack of inputs and the fact that a lot of my devices won't work through a hub. And then the other thing is that it's a little tight on processing power. It's not bad. All right, so I need to add a 1/4 cup of water and then mush it around with a spoon until it looks like dough. So here's my 1/4 cup. It must be cold water, which is going to be hard because it's once again quite warm outside. I'm not going to complain about how warm it is every single day because it's friggin' summer and it's going to be warm every day. But just if I'm wearing a skirt or like some shorts, it's pretty safe to say that it's smoking hot, because I don't normally do that around the house unless it's like hot. I am very much a pajama pants or sweatpants at the office kind of girl, because my office is my house and my castle is my lap. No point in wearing uncomfy pants. So, mush with spoon. Eversong Witch, thank you. I knew it had a name. So where's Kelthalos then? Is that... there's Keldanos. I don't know, man. Have you ever thought about streaming more? I've thought about it, but I think I've decided that the current amount works real good for me. If anything, the baking streams kind of throw me off a little bit, but because they're a Patreon reward, I'm not gonna cut down on them. I would rather, like, streaming. It's great, but it's a lot of time, and I would rather take that time and put it towards making YouTube videos, because I really want to get better at making YouTube videos. I want to make like the best YouTube videos that I could possibly manage to make, and to that end, I like to direct more of my time to doing that. I've always wanted to build a micro ATX. See, I don't know if I would build it myself, because for once you get down to that like really low price point, it's not that big of a deal to just buy a pre-built. It's not like I would need a crazy graphics card. All I would really need is like an average amount of RAM, probably an i5 or better, because streaming does require a bit of processing power, and then like nothing crazy, which is why I'm looking like that 500-ish price point. But I've never built in Micro ATX. I've always built in like the biggest computer case I can possibly buy because I want to have extra wiggle room in the event that something doesn't quite fit and you need to like jerry rig it in there, which worked out very well when I was installing my H. It was either an H100 or an H80. It was the Corsair water cooler. Not in this case, but in the last case when I was installing the Corsair, I think it was an H. There is no 80, is there? Is it a 60? I know there's a 60. I know there's a 100i. I thought there was one in between. Anyways, I was installing Corsair water cooling in my NZXT Phantom 001 case, like the last one, not the one I have right now. And it like wouldn't mount. There was no friggin' way it was going to attach. So I actually had to take apart the top of the case and like screw it onto a thing that was not... It worked out, but it was not designed to work that way. Hazel, can I donate $2 in about 15 minutes? You gotta follow your heart. You can donate or not donate any amount at any time. As a lore nerd, I'm personally offended by these questions. Oh man. I feel like lore nerds would get offended a lot by my take on lore. I'm not, like, it's fine and I like lore, but I am pretty famously ditzy about it. If it's not shoved in my face, I will not understand what's going on. Okay, so I have what looks like dough. It's a little flaky still, but that's fine. I think it will come together as I like press it more. So what I need to do now, form into a flat round, wrap in plastic, and chill for 30 minutes. So this is the part that it wants me to chill it. So because I am on a hurry, I am going to attempt to chill it for 20 minutes, but in the freezer, and see if that does it. Because obviously you don't want to freeze it completely, but I feel like it will chill faster in a colder environment. And that way we can get moving along a little bit more quickly, because there are other things we've got to do. And I would prefer to not be streaming until 5 because I have a big video to finish editing tonight, and I don't want to be working all night. Are you planning on doing an EU account and playing with your EU fans? I don't have any immediate plans. I don't have like a manifesto against it, but I don't have any immediate plans. Alright, so plastic wrap. Do you like Smash Brothers? Oh man. Super Smash Brothers Melee was one of the first games I got on my GameCube as a kid. I was like, we got the GameCube and my aunt had given us like a bunch of games to go with it. And Smash Brothers Melee was the one that had like the most awards on top of it. And I was like, oh man, this game's probably really fun. And I played it and I was like, man, this game is not that fun. And I realized later when I grew up that the reason it was not that fun was because I was playing it completely by myself. I could never really get other people to play against me in it. So I only ever played it by myself, so it was fine. I'm not very good. I'm actually very bad. I'm not good at any fighting games. The only fighting game that I was ever any good at was when I was a really little kid, like way younger. There was a game for Windows 95, and it was called Stay Tuned. And it featured like some cartoon characters and like a bunch of mini games. And one of the mini-games was a Mortal Kombat spoof ripoff thing, and it was called Cartoon Combat, and I kicked butt at that. But that's not a real thing. I mean, it was a real thing, but it's obviously not a thing anymore. So that skill has not translated to anything. And I've never actually tried to play Mortal Kombat. I watched some of the footage of the more recent ones, and I'm like, man, that is an awfully graphic way to die. I don't really want to look at that. I'm a little squeamish. I'm not super squeamish, but if I don't like something and I don't see a really good reason why I should be continuing to watch it, I just don't. Alright, so we have a disc. It's kind of flaky. It's sort of falling apart. I guess if it's still like falling apart later, I just add more water. I feel like that's the knob that you twist, but I'm going to put it in the freezer for 20 minutes and see if that helps it firm up. I'm going to like squish on top of that box of Eggos. I didn't know we had Eggos. Alright, so 20 minutes on that. In the meantime, I'm going to clean up that bowl because I'm pretty sure I'm going to need it. Wipe up some of this flour that has gone everywhere, and then review our next steps, and also catch up in chat. So, Cartoon Combat! No, the Cartoon Combat was with K's, just to, like, really, really be pedantic here. It's Cartoon Combat! K-R-T-O-N, Combat. Looks horrible. It has to be one large single piece. The dough looks horrible. That's not very nice. Not so many flakes. Well, it's too late now. If I'm rolling it out and it's still falling apart, like I said, I'll add more water. When will you do a podcast with Gomarath and Lenoka? I don't know. If it's your first time making it, I'm sure it'll turn out fine. I mean, I'm sure it'll turn into something that I can eat, which is kind of like the bar I'm aiming for. If it looks better than that, that's great. But if it's edible, that's all we're really shooting for the first time around. I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression and think that I know what I'm doing. Now, make a little room in the dish rack. This used to hold my... Oh, I need to wash this. That's the thing that I use to hold the tea that I'm cold brewing tea, and I can pour up like an iced tea in a bit, because I love my tea and I can't stop drinking it, but when it gets really hot, it hurts me when I drink hot tea. So this here. What are your tattoos? Do they have a meaning? All right, well, this one is a cherry blossom tree, and the meaning is that I like trees and I wanted a tattoo. Back here on, yeah, that side, that is a maple leaf, and that's because I'm from Canada and I knew I was leaving when I got that tattoo. I knew I was leaving the country, and I wanted to bring a part of it with me in the form of art on my back. Let's see here. Wish I had, yeah, Norma. At the end of, I don't know what she is at now, but at the end of last stream, Norma was the undisputed nut winner. She had like way more nuts than anybody else. I figure you must have gotten really lucky with gambling, because otherwise I don't know how you did that. Also, it says that I only watched the stream for like 52 minutes, which is really silly because I'm streaming. I have to be here. Obviously, I've been here the whole time. What's with the ink? They put it in like a tattoo gun and then they stab you with it a bunch of times and it stays there forever. Because I like trees and I wanted a tattoo. Yeah, you gotta, like, I recommend anybody that's thinking about getting a tattoo, think about it for a long time. Like, it's not a thing to impulse do. I had thought about that for probably 5-ish years, at least, before I actually went and got it done. So, definitely don't jump into it. And obviously, if you're under 18, then you want to wait until you're over 18, both because you will probably change your mind, and because, I don't know, just reasons. Oh god. Also, do not get any tattoos while under the influence of alcohol, both because A, you make bad decisions, and secondly, it thins your blood and it makes you bleed more, which can actually interfere with the tattooing process. So, that's tattoo tips from Hazel. How much does getting a tattoo hurt? It really depends on your regular threshold for pain and your and where you're getting it. So, like, on my arm here, the top of my arm and, like, the outer bit, not bad. And, like, the back of the shoulder is really easy. But once you get into, like, inner arm and, like, the very back of it, like, that stuff, that hurt, like, a lot. And that wasn't even bad. Like, I've heard that ribs are really bad. The back of your calf, just anywhere sensitive that your body does not expect to get stabbed repeatedly is going to hurt more than other things. But it's not a thing that really would deter me from getting more. I'm making a huge dinner for tonight to celebrate husband and I watching Ink Master Shop Wars. Ink Master Shop Wars. There's like a lot of words that sound like they're all from different shows, but I'm sure they're the same thing. I love needles. That's a little bit strange. Okay, so I've cleaned up that. I can put this up here. So once that is finished chilling, the thing that we're going to be doing next is rolling out the batch dough into a large circle. Carefully drape the dough over our 9-inch pie pan, which I bought for this. It was like 2 days ago, and I was like, you know what? I actually don't have a pie pan. I should probably get one. I had a cake pan. I don't think it would have worked. Press the dough into the bottom of the pan. If using a pie pan, you may wish to pinch the crust into a decorative shape. Use the extra dough to add cutout embellishments. Goodness gracious, that's going to be a mess. And then you want to place it in the freezer while you're making the filling. So we just have to kind of wait for it to chill. Eventually, when we're making the filling, we're going to be like cooking berries and then straining them, adding some pectin to kind of firm it up. Citric acid, fruit pectin, yeah. I'm pretty sure this is vegan. Whatever. And then like a bunch of sugar. Oh, he wants cardamom. I should find my cardamom. I know I have some. It's one of those things I never use. That's ginger. I have a lot of ginger. I use ginger all the time. I put ginger in everything. Here we go, cardamom. Actually, you know what I use this in? I use this in the firecracker salmon. And I love the firecracker salmon. Actually, just smelling that makes me think of the firecracker salmon. Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Best recipe in the cookbook, for sure. The heck are flip nuts? I want to know. It's just the command to gamble your nuts. Show us a picture of what they should look like. What should look like? Anywhere where you notice... like you're expected to be stabbed a lot anywhere, yeah. I finally made a stream when it's still live. Hi, everyone. What's up, Dylan? Is it vegan sugar? Unlikely. I'm not actually vegan. I am a pescatarian, so I technically wouldn't eat gelatin that's made from, like, cow bones, but I'm not too fussy about it. As long as nobody's feeding me, like, chicken fingers or hamburgers, it's fine. So there's PvP pet battle teams that you emailed to isn't as great as I thought. They're good, but not as good as I thought. It's all going to depend on who you're queuing into. And because there's such a low pool of people that are queuing in pet battle PvP, typically you're going to run into the same people a lot. So if their team counters yours, it's going to seem like your team's not that good, even if it's fine. The tarts. Oh, what will they look like from the cookbook? Okay, so yeah, it's one big tart, actually. It's like a pie, basically. It's like a pie. It's going to look like that. Sorry, I didn't understand. What is this about nuts? It's a stream currency we have now. You don't have to set anything up. You just automatically get them for watching the stream. Sometimes at the end of a gaming stream, I'll do a giveaway of like just like a pet or something for NA viewers mostly. Until I get on EU anyways. And you'll be able to use your nuts to buy raffle tickets. Alternatively, you can use !flipnut space and the number you want to gamble them if you would like to gamble them. As you can see people doing. There's a cooldown on that. And also it's just like a thing to hoard as like, hey, I've watched Hazel's stream for 725 hours. I need to go outside. Also, I don't do that. Hazelbot's not working. There's a cooldown on it. So if I check here with like uptime, you may just be trying to do it too often. Let's see here. Hazelnutty's fine. What's your personal reason for being a pescatarian? I tried being vegan for a week because of how horrible the meat industry is, but it wasn't easy. Yeah, so the reason that it was kind of easy for me was because the original reason why I became a pescatarian, I was about 8 years old and I did not like eating meat. I thought it was gross. The texture grossed me out. The flavor grossed me out. I was old enough to know that it was from animals, and that grossed me out, and I just didn't want to eat it anymore. Fish was fine because I went fishing and I killed fish, and I was all right with that. But if you put a chicken in front of me and was like, kill this and you'll have dinner, I'll be like, no, this is my buddy. So I didn't want to eat meat anymore, and I never liked it in the first place. And, I went through, like, a lot of different reasons as I grew up because, 12, 14, 16-year-olds, they come up with weird shit. Pardon me. They come up with weird stuff. Pardon me my language. But, I basically wound up on this is the stuff I like to eat, so that's what I'm going to do. Hazel, how do you get that wrench beside your name? Those are mods. That is something that I choose to bestow. They have the power to time people out if they are being obnoxious, and I don't plan on making any more of them until it becomes a problem. Where did you get your yellow teapot? It matches my car. Do I have a yellow teapot? I don't have a yellow teapot. I have a green teapot. You mean this one? This is my green teapot. It might look yellow, depending on, like, the color correction. This one is from... my mother-in-law actually sent this to us, because she heard that I broke my teapot, and she's a sweetheart, and she was like, here you go. She bought it on Amazon for us. It's amazing, actually. It comes with a really nice infuser. But if you're looking at something else that I have no idea what you're looking at. Wish I could be here for the beginning, but I volunteer at my local library on Tuesdays. Love your videos, Hazel. Thanks, Armig. Are you a feminist? I enjoy that you lost an eye somewhere along the way. I'm a feminist in the sense that I don't want to get into that. I'm not going there right now. It looks pretty yellow. This is so green. This is 100% green. All right, well, it's green from here. It is a yellowish green, I will admit, but it's green from here. So maybe I have some color correction filters because without them, I look spooky. Here, I'll show you. So if I turn off my color correction, all of a sudden I'm like, ah! I mean, it's not that spooky, but it's kind of dark. So there we go. It's better. I thought you said, where do you get your yellow teeth? My teeth go through varying stages of yellowness. I am obsessive about cleaning my teeth, so they're fine. But I do drink a lot of tea, so they get kind of stains on them. But the stains brush right off, so it just depends on how long it's been since I've been to the dentist. It looks yellow from here. I see. Yeah, Amazon. If you look up 4Life 24-ounce curved teapot, you're going to find it, and that's awesome. You seem so talented. Have you tried making pottery? Oh, I didn't make it. I didn't make it at all. I didn't make that either. I just painted it. No, I'm really bad with my hands. If I tried to make pottery, it would be like a big, gooey, amorphous mess. Ghost Hazel. Kind of looks better without the color correction. Well, that's too bad. I like it this way. What's the best tea you have? The only tea I have is Irish. The best tea that I have? Oh, man. You guys know how to get me started. I'm a really big fan of this one. I don't know if this is the best one. I also have a couple of these things. So this is a Dian Hong tea from Fengqing. It's like a black tea, but it's like a really, really enjoyable one. It's like really rich. This guy is, I forgot, but it's good. I know what they taste like. I don't know how to describe them. Actually, I really like this one. This one wasn't even very expensive. This is the Yen and Sourcing's house blend of Right Pour. It's their 2016 one, I think. And it's like the Golden Needle one, so it's kind of reminiscent of Golden Needle black tea, but it's a little bit, it's got that Right Pour earthiness to it. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, I couldn't pick which one's the best one. They're all different. They're all different in their own ways. All right, so I feel like there was something I was supposed to be doing. So my kitty's here. Kitty, you want to say hi? Here we go. I don't have any food out, so you can say hi. There you go. What's up? My cat. Okay, you can go away now. Ugh. So, in like 20, I'm going to wash my hands again after that. 20 minutes, I'm going to be rolling out the dough and then preheat the oven. You know, it wants me to cool the berry mixture, so I'm going to start the berry mixture now, and then we'll catch up with the pie crust after that. It's going to be fine. So I need to place the raspberries in a small saucepan over medium-low heat and cook them gently until the berries fall apart. So it wants me to use a pound of crushed raspberries. I have regular raspberries. I'm assuming as I cook them over medium-low heat, they're going to become crushed. Also, they're frozen. So, pound. This is 12 ounces, which is not quite a pound. I had another bag of them, though. I had more. Where did the rest of my berries go? I will find them. I put them in the freezer myself. That's fruit. Those are manna buns. Oh, there we go. There we go. Raspberries. So, if this is collectively 24 ounces, I only need 16. But one of this and like a third bag. So, medium, low heat, like right around there. And I'm just going to get the berries in here. I feel like they're half crushed just because they came in a frozen package, so we're gonna work with it. The mic looks so official. Yeah, it's I originally wanted to use one of the lapel mics that like clips on, but after I used one for a bit, I discovered the one that I bought didn't work, so that was it. And secondly, once you like look up or change the way you're facing, it can change the way it picks up your sound a lot. And something like this is it's a little more static, a little easier to keep in place, especially if I'm like twisting around or something. So, you know what I actually should have done, and I probably still could do. Should I microwave these first? Because they're like super frozen. I'm gonna microwave them. Yeah. Yeah, like if we put it in here. Just to give it like a head start, because that is super frozen. Put this over here. I'm gonna do that for like 40 seconds. And then I need another third of a bag worth too. The cooldown is individual. The cooldown to check your nuts is per person, so you can do it once every 5 minutes individually. And they do carry over from stream to stream. It is universal. They're tied to your account. Your mic is reminiscent of live product demos. Well, if I ever decide to get into live product demos, I will be all set. So late to the party. Yo, what's up, Adam? Love your pet battle vids. Thanks for all your help. Thanks for watching them. It's the one thing where it's kind of hard to have the front mic, though, is it gets a little bit in the way. The water bottle, not too bad. Still super frozen. I am sticking with my decision to microwave those. That is too much. I'm gonna need this later. How do I get this into like a? These ones are not as in as much of a chunk, so I can probably just like scoop out about a third of them. I don't have a food scale. I know I'm supposed to keep like a kitchen scale around and use it for weighing tea and ingredients and stuff, but I've never felt a need to do so, and I'm always reluctant to get more stuff for my kitchen. Hey Hazel, how are you? What's up, Dustin? I am doing excellently. I am having a great day. Yeah. What was I? I've been completely derailed. I had something to say. I think the strawberry or the raspberries ate it. Hazel getting ready to sell us a ship. Wow. Hazel, what's a good beginner raid in your opinion? Well, because the raids, like, you know, if it's from past expansion, it's going to be pretty much not useful anymore for learning. You're going to want to do a current expansion raid, but if you just start in the first one, if you start in Emerald Nightmare, that's a perfectly good place to learn for now. Next expansion, here we go. Next expansion, that answer is probably going to change to whatever the earlier raid is of that expansion. But right now, you kind of overgear Emerald Nightmare, so it's going to be a pretty easy learning point. And also, there's, of course, LFR available, but... Oops, didn't mean to close that so hard. But you still see the mechanics. It's not like instantly dead. Smash the berries. Hazel, I'm new to your stream. Found you from TSN Guides. Welcome, Nightbear. Food scales, you should invest. So you're saying if I do get one, I shouldn't get a cheap one, or I should just get one? Because I feel like Amazon had one for like $8, and I was like, is that true? That seems like it would not be accurate for $8. All right, so we need about a third of these. I probably should have just used the scissors. Alright. I have so many scissors now, too. Alright, so... like, right around... there. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do with 2/3 of a bag of raspberries, but we're going to figure it out. So, I'm going to give that a minute, and then I'll add it to the pot. Basically, we're just going to cook that down until it's, like, goo, and then what they want you to do is then strain it through a strainer to get most of the seeds out, pour the juice into a bowl, and then you pour it back in and you start, like, cooking up the blueberries. So, the problem with that, and this kind of relates back to me not having a lot of kitchen gadgets, I don't have a strainer. I have like a colander for pasta, but that's gonna be like the holes in that are like super wide, and it's like this big plastic. Like they're not even holes. They're like it's not gonna work. So I figure what I'm gonna use is I have this thing. I will show you. It is a sifter, and if I like just move I guess this will work too. I don't see any reason why this wouldn't work. Like, it's got the mesh that I need. I can pour it through. It'll be fine. I just walked in. What are you cooking? Sup, Jonathan? We are making the Bloodberry Tart from the World of Warcraft cookbook. It's like a blueberry raspberry tart thing. Or we're trying to make it anyways. It involves making homemade pie dough, and I don't know how well that's going to go. Okie dokie. Goop, 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 goop. Bunch of raspberries. And then that pretty much just needs to cook down anyways. I'm going to grab my spoon back. I'm going to stir it up a little bit. It's kind of mushy and it's kind of gooey. Did it say medium low or can I do that in medium? Medium low. So I'll keep it on medium low. I'm going to throw the lid on it. Help it like heat up a little faster because it does not seem like it's any hotter than it was when I took it out of the microwave. So we'll do that until the berries fall apart. Strain it into a bowl. Discard the seeds. Return to the pan. Add the remaining ingredients, which is going to be... blueberry. You know what? I should defrost the blueberries. I should defrost the blueberries. So, my blueberries. Oh, there we go. Also frozen, because who buys a pan of fresh blueberries? That would be very expensive. Let's go ahead and should I defrost them in this or just leave them on the counter? I don't know how long this is going to take. This still has a lot of water in it. I'm remarkably bereft of bowls. That never happens to me. Just got here. Hello, all. Sup, Spirit of the Phoenix. How are you doing? All right. Oh, there we go. I was trying to scroll up to see chat, but my hands were kind of wet from this dishcloth, and it was not working. Cheesecloth will work for the seeds, too. It's cheap and fresh. I do actually have cheesecloth. I bought it for my plants. I put it in the bottom of my pots so that the dirt does not fall at the bottom. Do you think I should do it with cheesecloth? That's a good idea. This should be clean. It's new, right? Should I wash it? Do you discard, do you throw it out when you're done? It's got, a lot of bits. If I just take, a big square of it, and I use my scissors, you forgot the blueberries. The blueberries viral video reference. I've never seen that one. Notice me, please, Hazel. What's up, Ben? Here we go. So I'm just gonna make a big square of this because I do have cheese. It's weird. I never have the thing that I need. I always need to buy it, but I have it now, so we're good. Throw the cheesecloth out when you're done. Take it and line the colander. Oh, smart. I was just gonna lay it over the bowl and then try and gather it up, and that was probably gonna be a bad idea. What was that timer for? Oh, that was for chilling the pie dough. So that's not cold at all. I'm going to give that another 10. I'm just going to let it chill for the full 30 minutes. There we go. So I could line the colander with it. I didn't really get it big enough. I kind of did. So I could put the colander over the bowl with the cheesecloth in it. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're making something happen. Science magic? Well, sure, not drugs. All right, that'll do it. If you're asking if you should watch it before, that should be enough for your answer. You'll probably have to throw it away anyway since it'll stain. Yeah, I'll give it a rinse actually, just in the sink right now. Can't hurt. Can you make a feast for us? Yo, cooking feast is actually a lot of work. I tried to make a Christmas dinner once, and it wasn't a big deal because it was just for me and my husband and then our friend who came over, so it was just 3 people. But I get to like 3 courses, and then I'm like, you know what, I'm done. I don't know how people like my grandmother make like so many different dishes. I guess sometimes you get somebody to bring the extra ones, and that'll help. But goodness, it was tough. Okie dokie. So that's like, it's not perfect, but it'll do. I think this is gonna be a pretty small amount. Where did my spoon go? Here we go. Spoon. This looks very gory. I'm starting to understand why it's called Bloodberries. I should be careful with this. I will stain something. I mean, I'm not really wearing anything I care about. Neither of the things that I'm wearing are expensive. This is making me really hungry. AFK gaining dinner. See you later, Pandora. Get something good. Alright, so I can probably wash this now. I feel like I might need to microwave the blueberries again, just to kind of defrost them a little bit. I'm probably going to microwave them now and then give them a minute to let them kind of get back. No, it doesn't matter because I'm heating them up anyways. I don't know, man. I'm new at this. Hi, Hazel. Sorry I'm late. I was playing Cards Against Humanity. Oh, that's always fun. How are you doing? I have a 9-course meal for my WoW party this year. Do you do that all by yourself? Goodness. Yeah. I don't know how people do that. I don't understand. I had all my WoW friends over for a pre-Thanksgiving Friendsgiving once. It was so much work, but it was totally worth it. Yeah. I feel like if I ever do like a big meal like that, I'm gonna need to like enlist help. Like be like, all right, you 3 are coming over early, and we're gonna do this together. Although then you have 3 people in your kitchen, and I have never been a person that's been very good about having other people in my kitchen while I'm working in it. I think I got that from either my mom or my sister, but I don't share space well. You will look like a Smurf after you're... Oh, people... You will look like a Smurf after you're done. My husband's terrible in the kitchen. Yeah. Yeah, there's a reason why mine's not going to be guesting on the cooking streams. My dog is watching this with me. Oh, what kind of dog do you have? What does he look like? Does he have a beard? Or she? I mean, sometimes lady dogs have beards. Is that Philip? Making hot dogs talk about spider kebabs. Oh, there's a recipe in here for... Actually, I'm going to get this thing defrosting. I'm going to put the blueberries in the bowl. I'm going to microwave them for like 45 seconds, and then I'll have my bowl full of blueberries. That's my plan anyways. It sounds good on paper. I lost my scissors. Aha! Over here with cheese clock. You can't get things from your sister. Well, you can like, she's an older sister, so you're not going to inherit it, but you might adopt their behavior because you grew up watching them cook. You know, the whole nature nurture thing. What's a good way to level battle pets? I'm lazy. Also, what pets are good? I just level pets I got for achievements or are just cute. So the pets that are good are the ones that you want. If you're only doing pets for achievements or because they're cute, then it's whatever ones you find cute. If you want to battle pets and like be doing the dailies and stuff, then you want to like go through my strategies to the dailies that you want to do and see what I recommend for each individual one, because it will change. And then I also have a list of like top 10 pets for Legion World Quest that will get you started with the kind of pets you'll use for World Quests. Leveling pets, you can either, like if you're leveling pets for the first time, I recommend doing the whole pet charm thing where you add the boon of the zookeeper to your shoulders, kill stuff until you get pet charms, and then buy your first ultimate battle training stone, because there's no real reason to go leveling pets manually from scratch. And I have a separate video about all that. My cats are listening to you. My cat, she left. My dog is on the couch. He's just like waiting for the end. He gets so like once he's realized we're not going outside, because I take him for a really long walk in the morning and I take him out again in the afternoon. Like he gets quite a bit of exercise for a small dog, but once he's realized like during the day that I'm not going anywhere, or like in the evenings, he just like sets up on the couch or like his bed, and he'll just like, he's not asleep, he's just very flat and he looks kind of depressed. My cat is demolishing a box. The Dino Quests in the Broken Isles. Dino Quests in the Broken Isles. Falcosaur pets will drive you crazy. Yeah. Can you tell us more about your tattoo? Sure. What do you want to know? It's black. It's got some pink on it. Goes up my whole arm. I had it all done in one sitting. That took about 8 hours. That was rough. I would not recommend that. It was nice to get it all done one day, but when you're getting a tattoo, after a minute or so, your adrenaline kicks in, or at least some kind of response in your body that kind of numbs the pain a little bit. It's the same response that like gets you through a really stressful situation if you've been like hit by a car and you're missing an arm or something. So that'll kick in and that'll like be good for a while, but that wears off. Like there's a limited amount of juice that it can like pump your system with to keep you from freaking out. And after like 6 hours, I was like, you know what? This isn't fun anymore. But I had to finish it because I was almost done. Hazel, I have a female Chiweenie. A Chiweenie, like a Chihuahua mixed with a weenie dog. That's so cute. My kids are demolishing the downstairs. We have 4 cats. Our male cat died. Oh. I don't know what I'm going to do when I lose this baby, but she's going to be around forever and ever, especially because she's only 2, so I have like forever with her still. Got any tattoos of a battle pet? No, I don't have any WoW-based tattoos, and I probably won't get any. I like tattoos of things that are not like tied to a company. How do you deal with hateful comments? After streaming on Twitch, they kind of roll right off you. Like, people just say stuff just for the hell of saying stuff, and it doesn't really mean anything. And if it does mean anything, I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't know. It doesn't... Like, so every now and then, somebody will say something that gets to me, and I'm like, I made this video for free. How do you hate it so much? Why are you so upset? You could have just kept scrolling. You didn't have to watch it. But for the most part, it's not. It doesn't. I don't have good advice for that off the top of my head. If I think about it more, I'll come up with something later. When I got a tattoo, I was standing. It sucked. You got a tattoo while standing? Oh no, no. Time to take my boys to swim practice and save my basement. I'll catch up with the stream later. See you later, Elaine. Yeah, I figure what I would do if for my next tattoo is like distracting yourself is really good. If you have nothing to do but sit there and think about what they're doing to you, that kind of sucks. But I could totally see myself doing it with like an audiobook or a podcast, like through some headphones. Or even just like some really good music to zone out to, just because you want to chill out and stay still and not like annoy your artist too much. Who would say something bad about this? You would think. Hello, it's been a while since I've watched one of your live streams, but I'm back. How are you doing, and what tea are you drinking currently? Right this instant, I'm drinking water because it's kind of warm, although I do have an iced tea in my fridge that is like a, that I might make later. I cold brewed it, so I have this thing. I guess I can show you. I have, because right now we're waiting for the dough to finish chilling and filling. So this thing, which comes with this thing, it's like $15 on Amazon. And basically you put the tea in here, and then you put it in with cold water, and you leave it in your fridge overnight. And that will cold brew an iced tea, which is like less bitter than hot brewed iced tea. And also then you don't have to go through the thing of like cooling it down before you can put it in the fridge. And I did this with my Paris blend Harney and Sons tea. It's a flavored one. It's kind of like a caramel, black currant, oolong, vanilla, bergamot flavored. It's like a flavored black tea, but it's really good when you ice it and then have it with milk and the tiniest bit of sugar. It's like a Starbucks drink. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing later. Right now, I think it's time to do the strainy thing. So I'm going to be pouring this goopy raspberry stuff through the cheesecloth. We're basically trying to like separate it from the seeds. So we're going to put it on the cheesecloth and we're going to let it's going to take a minute, I think. So I'll see if I can show you with it. I'm not going to pick up the camera, but it's like, there's like goo in there, and then there's like, I've got a cheesecloth over the colander, and it's like doing a thing that looks really gross. Oh man, that's giving me some flashbacks of horror movies that I wish I hadn't watched. But I'm gonna let that. I think I can like mush it with a spoon to make it go faster. But we're basically just trying to get rid of the seeds. Once we've done that, we're gonna put the juice back in the pot, add some blueberries and some pectin and some balsamic vinegar and some cardamom and some sugar, like a lot of sugar. And yeah. Actually, you know what? Maybe while I'm waiting for this, I'll mix up the blueberries with like the other stuff and put it in the pan and let those like start to heat up. Because these are still like half frozen. I'm going to give these another 30 seconds actually, now that I mention it. Alright, 30 seconds on that. I make an orange and pomegranate tea. Oh, that sounds good. Arizona tea, not made in Arizona. I stirred around to speed it up. There's like not a whole lot of, I can stir like a little bit. There's not a whole lot of cheesecloth. Like this is not a terribly wide piece of cheesecloth, so if I stir it too much, it's going to go over the edge and start just like depositing seeds through the colander. So I'll stab it a little bit, but it's mostly gonna just do its own thing. So that was the timer saying that my pie dough is officially chilled, and it seems pretty chilly. I'm thinking I'm gonna need to add a little more water because it is kind of falling apart, and I've had that problem before when I was making stuff. So it wants me to roll it out into a large circle. I'm gonna get my hands. Do I sprinkle water on it? Do I put water in this thing and then like dip my fingers in it? I cleaned my counter thoroughly before this. So I should be able to roll it out right in the counter. I've got a little bit of water there. I basically just want to get it rolled out to about 1/8 of an inch thick, and then we're gonna get it pressed over this thing. What's the chance of winning? I have no idea. I would hope it's 50%, but I don't have access to that information. So flip nut at your own risk. There we go. So, actually, I should put some flour on the counter too. because that's a thing that I do when I roll stuff out, otherwise this is going to get super stuck. But it's going to make it flakier too. Yeah, that is not cohesive. There we go. A little flour. And take my chilled dough. Yeah, this is a little bit on the falling apart side. Also, I was going to... Here, let's put the rest of the berry stuff there. It's okay if there's like a couple seeds in it. We just want to like largely strain out the seeds. So the blueberries can go in here and start warming up a little bit. I am going to roll myself out some dough. I have chat over here, so I should be able to talk. It's just going to look like I'm ignoring you, but I'm not. Let's gather data about the flip nut thing. Knock yourselves out. This is so much fun. Who's having fun? Alright, so there we go. Yeah, that is a giant pile of mostly non-cohesive dough. I'm going to need to, like, mush it together more, but that's fine. We can do that. I'm going to take the ring off again. Put it over in the ring spot, which I've actually never lost it so far, which is shocking to me because I'm really good at losing stuff. I think I just need to, like, work it a little more. Maybe with, like, a little bit of water. Little extra water. Keep things together. What happens to pie dough if you add too much water? What's, like, the other thing that can happen? Does it get, like, chewy? I don't know. I feel like the nuts pod is kind of off. Well, it's one of those things where I, like, turn it on and hope for the best. I have no troubleshooting that I can really do aside from restarting it. So it's going to do what it's going to do. And that's kind of the end of it. Make sure we've got enough here. I don't want to leave. Yeah. You can rewind the stream if you miss something, and you want to like keep watching the stream, but you don't want to wait for the VoD. You can actually rewind the stream while it's live. YouTube has a live DVR feature that lets you scroll it back and see what happened like 5 or 10 minutes ago, and then continue watching from that point. And there's no reason why you can't do that. Something's not quite right. It's kind of coming together. I think I just need to work it more, because parts of it are sticky, and then parts of it are not. Finally caught the streams up, Jima. If you add too much water, it turns into glue. It gets a little hard when cooked, not flaky. Okay. So I don't want to add too much water. How do I make it stick together without the whole water thing, then? Because I don't really want to add any more. Do I just, like, keep rolling it until it becomes one piece? I can start rolling it. We've got this thing. This thing. It's a rolling pin. I know that. Ugh. Yeah, actually, you know what? It rolls together all right. It's not as falling aparty as it was. So we can roll it out. And then, like, I probably don't want to roll it out too many times because it seems like it's something that would make it tougher. I'm thinking of coming back to WoW next month. Your videos caught me. Are you happy? Friends say I should wait until next expansion, though. Better for the crust to be drier than too wet. Okay, so I won't add any more water. I think it's in a good spot. It's still kind of falling apart, but it won't be fine. Yeah, I think it's a perfectly good time to come back. WoW is very catch-up friendly right now. The raid's really good. I'm really enjoying Tomb of Sargeras, and there's a bunch of good older raids you can go back and do Nighthold and whatnot. And there's also lots of good solo player content. I don't see a good reason not to come back. Obviously, if your friends aren't back and you have no one to play with, that's going to be less fun. But you got to do what you got to do. So, what did it say? Roll it, carefully drape it over the pan, press it into the bottom, and then trim off the excess. You can pinch the crust into a decorative shape. Goodness. That sounds like not something I'm going to do. I mean, I guess in Snow White, there's, like, birds that came down and, like, sat on the crust with their, I was going to say paws, not their bird paws. But I don't have any birds to sit on it with their bird paws. In any case, I feel like that would be deeply unhygienic. Alright, so I want to get this off and carefully drape, which is why, you know what, I'm going to get the other one too. I have 2 of these things, but I don't have any of the other kind of spatula. Alright, so, underneath. Come on. Could be worse. I can, like, patch over it, right? Because I have, like, a lot of extra here. I want to make sure it goes all the way up the sides. I probably could have rolled it out a little bit more, now that I mention it. It's not bad. You know what? No, that sucks. We're doing that again. We are going to make it into one cohesive, larger piece that does not require, that is in a bigger circle. I never win. Oh, Adam, I'm sorry. That's why I never gamble. And any other streams that have gambling that I watch, I never, ever, ever gamble. I'm like, I'm just going to keep my stuff until the end of time. And then one day, I'll just like casually do like the currency check, and somebody's going to be like, oh my god, you have so much. How did you get so much? And I'll be like, I didn't gamble. Alright, so... But I don't actually really enjoy gambling in real life either. It's never seemed fun to me. I would rather do something that... Like, if the goal of gambling is to win money and the odds are stacked against you, it just doesn't seem... I don't... Like, there's something in my brain that fundamentally doesn't get it. Ugh. Alright. And I know people... Like, I know you can totally go into it being like, this is entertainment, this is the budget that you spend on entertainment, and then you get X amount of fun for doing it, and it's just like going to a movie or whatever. And that's probably true. It's just not entertaining for me. Ugh. There we go. This looks better. I want to make it like extra big so that we can trim off the edges. Although it's going to be harder to pick up because it's flatter, you know? Well, we're going to give it a go. This is why I'm so bad at baking. As soon as it would go wrong, I would just give up. Oh man, my stuff goes wrong all the time. You should have seen the kind of hash browns that I tried to serve. Well, I did serve. We ate them. They were not good. The hash browns that I served to my husband when I'm learning to make hash browns, they're still not good. I still have no idea what I'm doing. So when I make the hash browns, I grate the potatoes, right? And then I thoroughly rinse them, because you want to like rinse the starch off them. So then I do that, and that's fine. And then I squeeze the water out of them until they're like really dry. Like I squeeze them real good. I use microfiber. Like I get a lot of water out of them. And then I fry them on a pretty high temperature in oil on my stove. And I don't see what I'm doing wrong. Actually, they weren't bad. I did that last time. They turned out pretty good. It wasn't great. It would probably be easier to deep fryer, but I don't want to get a deep fryer. I don't actually make that many things that are fried. I don't like watching this on my phone, but I still love it. Oh, no. Alright, so this is looking... I'll show you in a second. Like, so if I trim off this bit, I'm trimming it off just by pulling it. I'm kind of, like, patchworking some pieces onto, like, the top. So it might look a little bit janky, but, you know, I'm not selling it. If I was trying to sell a professionally made tart, then I would wonder why I got myself into a job that I was not equipped to do. So this is going to be fine. I've got like some extra dough. I'm going to squeeze it into like a bit. We just want to make sure there's lots of pie crust everywhere to go around, because as far as I'm concerned, the crust is usually the best part of the pie. I'm a big fan of pastry. This looks awful. Oh man, this is the most ghetto pie crust I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it's a tart crust. It's gonna be like 95% covered with berry stuff anyways, so I'm not too worried about it. But also, I'm not gonna be able to eat this on stream. It needs to chill for 2 hours after like it comes out of the oven. So once I get it into the oven, we're probably gonna be done, to be totally honest with you. I will put pictures on either Twitter or Instagram or both to give you guys updates on how it turned out, but I'm not going to be able to do that on stream because it's going to take forever. But that's why I figured I would do the whole dough thing on stream, because, you know, otherwise we don't have anything to do. Gets like goosh, add a lot of butter, and use your hands to make it even. It's the effort that counts. I'm making the American kind of donut without a hole and fill them with rose jam. Ooh, that sounds good. Okay. So this is what it looks like right now. It's kind of lumpy. I mean, I can press it more because it's not going to really even out much. You think I should have used more butter? I used 1 stick of butter to 2 1/4 cups flour with 1/4 cup of water, because those were the proportions listed in the thing. Maybe I needed more butter. Maybe I should have used more butter instead of water. Anyways, I think this is going to be fine. I only used like maybe an extra teaspoon of water, maybe. You know what? That looks pretty good. Good is subjective. Oh, all right. Close enough. This thing is, you know what? This cheesecloth thing is like having a real hard time straining out the water. I might do the other thing instead. I might just like take this and like, it was doing a great job, don't get me wrong, but taking a real long time. I think we're going to go the strainer method, or at least give it a go. So I'm pouring my weird raspberry gore into the thingy. Ugh, that looks really gross. Also, I'm going to need to be really careful to wipe my counters down immediately, because I feel like the stuff is going to stain. Alright, let's throw that out. I'm gonna try and do some damage control on raspberry juice right now for a second. So I have my hands. You know, if it were my kitchen, I wouldn't worry too much. As long as things are clean, I don't really mind if there are stains in them. Those are just like stories of all the things that you've done. But I'm renting, so we're gonna wipe up here. And then this thing needs to get in the sink. Goodness, this is gonna go over here. Raspberry juice, raspberry juice. I think I got it all. Looking good. What have I missed? I only just got home, so I'm way too late, but I hope you're having a great day. Hazel, thanks, Joni. I am having a good day. Hazel, what is the cooldown for everything? 5 minutes. It should be listed in the description. If you look at the description, under the nut commands, it should tell you what the cooldowns are for the stuff. I think it's 5 minutes for gambling and 5 minutes for checking. Yeah, so when I use this thing with a spoon, I'm actually getting something to happen here. It's really hard to get raspberry juice out of raspberries. The sifter is less messy. Yeah, I think I like this better. Butter crust. Yeah, hopefully it turns into something I can eat. I made that pie dough once before for, shoot, what do you call it? Pumpkin pie for Christmas. And I feel like I had the same thing happen. Maybe I need to try a different recipe. I don't want to because I'm like feverishly dedicated to the recipes that come with the Warcraft cookbook. And I'm pretty convinced that I'm just doing something wrong. But the proportions on that one seem to be not quite doing it for me. Oh, there's a hole on the side of this thing that is covering my... I'm not bleeding. It's just covering my finger in raspberry juice. This is like jam now. Well, not quite jam. Oh, it smells good. A fork does the trick for decoration. Yeah, we can try and fork it up a little bit over there. Let me get the rest of this because I need to get this juice cooking in that bowl with the blueberries in a pot, along with 2 cups of sugar and then some pectin, balsamic vinegar, and a little bit of cardamom, which is going to be basically the filling. So I need to get this to mush more. It's dripping very slowly. Maybe we're done. Maybe this is as much goo as we get out of it. So if that was true, let's go ahead. I'm going to put this back over here. If it gets more, then I'll add it later. And then goo into the goo thing. It's like a lot of goo involved in making Bloodberry Tarts. The raspberry juice is so viscous. It's just raspberry juice. There's nothing added to that. Why does it seem so much like blood? Okay. Put this over here in the sink. Clean off my weirdly red pinky finger. How tall are you, Hazel? I am 5'10". I am 5 feet and 10 inches. I'm just a little bit short of 6 feet tall. I'm quite tall for a lady. I think I'm averagely tall for a human being, but if you average it for women, I'm pretty tall. So, this is all garbage. I need to get the other ingredients in this pot. So it said, book says, okay, so Return of the Man, add the remaining ingredients. So we got blueberries in there, 2 cups of sugar, 3 tablespoons of pectin. We're going to start with the sugar. Sugar. Oh yeah, I should be preheating the oven. Whoops. 375. Gonna need to go in not too long. So, it doesn't have any instructions about par baking the crust, so I'm not going to, but if it's like soggy in the bottom, then I'll know that I should have. While that's like, oh yeah. So fork. I'm pretending my fork is a bird. I guess if it was a bird, it would be like tweet, 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 tweet. Bird's got, oh, this bird broke the pie. Tweet, 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 tweet. Man, that looks awful. Sugar. I knew I was doing something. So this has got water in it. I need to dry that thoroughly before I use it to scoop 2 cups of sugar in there. Do I at any point need to turn up the heat on this, or are we good? Hazel, the gnome queen. How am I a gnome queen if I'm 5 foot? She's a king size gnome. I was like 5'10". Now I feel short of 5'5". I'm the tallest in my family. Oh no, there's nothing wrong with it. I often have wished in the past that I was shorter. Being this tall is not terribly feminine, and I had a hard time getting dates when I was younger. Queen of the Gnomes, you could use a sharp knife to remove the excess. Yeah, okay. Here, let me get this stuff in here, then I'll take a sharp knife and try not to stab myself. Alright, so this is not how you measure sugar, but you know what? This cup doesn't fit in this thing, so we're just, you know what? My camera is probably blocked by my back. You probably can't see what I'm doing anyways. You have no idea. 1 cup of sugar. It said small saucepan. I'm starting to think my saucepan's too small. 2 cups of sugar. Like, that thing is almost full. And this is going to be... It looks like it's like paste. I don't think there was enough liquid. I feel like the raspberries did not provide as much liquid as we thought they were going to. I guess I need to add some balsamic vinegar, which is liquid. So, 2 cups of sugar. Balsamic vinegar seems like an odd thing, but there must be a reason that she's added it there. So 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. Who am I to judge? There we go. Just gonna put it on top of my sugar. Tablespoon numero uno. Ooh, that looks weird. Tablespoon numero dos? I don't know. I never did Spanish. Ugh, I took French. And then I can count to like 5 or so in Korean because I have Korean diva counting backwards to me in my DBM. And that's all I got. That is all I got. Cardamom. How much cardamom? I keep losing my book. It's always over here. A pinch. Okay. I'm going to literally pinch this. I think a pinch is actually like a measurement that's probably not measured by pinching it, but you know what? We're doing it. Use the rolling pin to remove the excess dough. See, that's not going to work. The sugar will draw out more moisture from the blueberries as well. Okay, it becomes liquid as it cooks down. All right. Well, you better start cooking down. Oh, you know what? You're right. It's totally turning into goo. This is much gooier than it was before. That's good. Oh, you know what? I can smell the cardamom with the balsamic with the blueberries, and it's actually really good. Oh, also, I missed a couple spots. I missed a couple spots of juice. Please no stainerino. Please no. No stains. No stains. So, it's okay if it stains this. This is just like a microfiber washcloth from Amazon. It's not a big deal. Did the stream die? I hope not. Not again. Stream is currently live. We're good. We're okay. Hazel, I just got my awesome Illidan Stormage tattoo on my arm. Dude, so cool. They make a chainmail glove that you can wear when you use a knife. They give them to beginner chefs and prep cooks so you won't cut your fingers off. That does sound like something I need. But I haven't actually cut my fingers in, like, quite a few years. So, the problem is that this dough, you know, we're just going to go right around the edge like this. You know what? This is starting to make it look better. It's still lumpy on the inside, but the inside's going to have berries over it. This might actually look respectable. Or at least partway respectable. Oh, man. Alright, there's a reason why this is not the official Blizzard-sponsored baking stream. Okay. Close enough. So now this over here is cooking down. Did I remember to add all of the other... You know what? That's magic! I didn't know that the sugar would do that with, like, the blueberries. It's totally not paste anymore. Okay. Pectin! I can't forget the pectin. I almost forgot the pectin. I need to add the pectin, otherwise it's just going to be, like, soup. 3 tablespoons of pectin. Okay. I have pectin. I bought it. It expires in March of 2020. And I need... Oh. Tips for successful pectining. Here we go. It's a weird packet with, like, some glue on it. I keep losing my scissors. I always put them in a different drawer. That seems irresponsible of me. Hello, Hazel. I'm Chad. I'm late. How's the Bloodberry Tart going? Yo, what's up, son? It is going all right. I have a crust put together that is kind of lumpy, but kind of looks like pie crust. We have filling, which is currently cooking up on the stove. This looks pretty good. I need to add the pectin. I'm looking for my spoons. Oh, I found my spoons. I need to wash them, though. So pectin can just stay right there. Who's got the most nuts? Norma. Norma Pop had the most nuts the last time I checked. Remember the mana strudel plot twist? It ended up looking better than we expected? Yeah. The mana strudel, I didn't understand until I actually went to go eat it. Like, it was this huge thing, and I'm like, how on earth does anybody eat this much strudel? And then I realized you slice it. You don't eat it in one big gigantic... I mean, somebody might, but you don't eat it in one big gigantic thing. And once I sliced it, it actually looked like a regular strudel. I was like, oh, I understand. It's just food chemistry. It's amazing. Yeah. All right. And this is probably as close to chemistry as I'm going to get, because science was not my favorite class. I wasn't bad at it. I was fairly notorious for being really anal about getting good grades in everything, but I didn't like it. It wasn't fun for me. Maybe I just had bad science teachers. How many tablespoons of this? 3? 2, 3, 3. 3 tablespoons, which is probably about what this packet is, but we're going to measure them out anyway. So 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons. Yeah, it's got a little bit more. A little more than that. 3 tablespoons. All right. Mix it in. I don't know if it needs to... I guess I should read their best tips or whatever. So, we're getting there. I now have a pot filled with a fairly liquidy filling that includes whole blueberries and some pectin. I think I just throw this out. I don't think I have any use for like a quarter packet of pectin. I've never used pectin before in my life, so I think that's safe to not keep. Also, I think it costs like $1. Not terribly expensive. Oh, man. All right. So, I should clean up some of my weird dough droppings. They're just like little bits and pieces. Does it taste good? You shouldn't eat raw flour, but I'm going to do what I want. Yeah, I'm fine. A little chewy. Hopefully it flakes out when I bake it. We'll see. I'll let you know. I will keep you updated. So, name of the game right now. I guess I could add, you know what? There's no more juice coming out of this. This is the end of how much juice you can get. There's so much, like, raspberry stuff left over. It's fine. That's a later me problem. Usually after these baking streams, I'm, like, really exhausted for some reason from, like, standing up for 2 hours. Apparently it's hard. I used to work retail. I used to be on my feet for 10 hours at a time, and that was fine, but apparently it's not fine anymore. So usually I'm, like, really done, and I'll, like, turn everything off, and I'll, like, put half of my equipment back, and then I'll just, like, pass out on the couch for an hour, and then I'll get up and clean everything up. So, raspberries are officially a later me problem. Hazel should add some bot commands to tell you how tall she is, what her tattoo is, and that she's married. Yeah. How tall are you? 5'10". I mean, the questions about how tall I am only really come up in the baking stream, because if I'm sitting down playing WoW, nobody cares. See what I mean? Should pre-bake the crust at least a couple minutes to heat it up before pouring the filling. You know what? You're right. It doesn't say to in the thing, but I've made pies before, and I've always found that was a good idea. So I'm going to throw it in for, like, I'm just going to do it real quick for, like, 2 minutes here. 2 minutes or so, because the oven needs to finish preheating anyways. This is at, like, it's like 20 degrees lower. So I'm just going to let you have 3 minutes, say. I'm going to let you do 3 minutes in there. And then over here on this side, it said, oh, I need to bring that to a boil and then cook for a few minutes. Okay, so this is not boiling. I need to boil it. Come on. Hot. Get hotter. I almost did not boil that. I need to recycle this. I'm going to wipe down my counter. I like to clean as I go, so it's not usually too big of a problem. The stream is laggy. It's like the vanilla PvP Battlegrounds. Oh, man. Out of the 5 times I've flipped my nuts today, I've only lost once. I'm doing pretty good. How long have you played WoW for? Whenever Wrath was. A while. Quite a while. And a Wrath baby. I started playing during the ICC patch. Okie dokie. There was a new song that came out today from a K-pop band. I'm not like a super huge fan of them, but I keep up. They're like really big, so I usually watch whatever they put out. And it's got like a reggae beat to it. And I've only listened to it like twice so far because it came out not long before I started doing this. But I need to put it on again. It was pretty good. Mine isn't lagging. Sometimes the lag is specific to different people watching. It shouldn't be that bad. I'm really happy that so far, and I'm going to try not to jinx it, but I'm really happy that so far it's been okay. Like, the sound seems to be going okay. And the, if I can avoid having to download it and edit and re-upload, that would be great, because re-uploading a 20-minute or a 2-hour video takes a long time. Right. Doing some dishes, so this needs to get to boiling. Right now, it is not. Hotter. It looks like bubble tea. Like, if you took bubble tea, like, if you've had bubble tea without ice, and you drank most of the tea, so it's mostly just bubbles in water, that's what it looks like. It's the blueberries look like boba. And with that, I've officially made myself want some bubble tea. I've never made bubble tea. I feel like once I finally do it, it's not going to be good. Like, I'm going to do the tapioca pearls all wrong, and it's just going to be, I'm going to tilt this over here so you can see me while I'm washing my dishes. It's going to be just, like, not what I need it to be. So, I think I'm supposed to, you know, I have a garbage disposal. I can probably just, like, I don't need to scrape out this. I want to keep the raspberry gore in the sink, because the more I move it, the more I'm going to stain stuff. Except the yellow, it is green. It is, you know what? On the website, it is listed as green. My mother-in-law asked me what my favorite color was before she ordered it, so she could get one that's a color I liked, and I was like, you know what? I like green. So she ordered the green one, and it came, and it's a green teapot that it's green. What is bubble tea? What's bubble tea? Bubble tea is it's a type of tea. It's like milk tea, usually served cold. It's generally quite sweetened and heavily flavored, so it's kind of like a fun desserty sort of drink. And it will have boba in it, which are like tapioca bubbles. They're chewy. They don't really taste like much, and some people don't like them and or choke on them, but it's kind of like a fun, you kind of eat them as you're drinking the tea. Like, you get a really wide straw that, like, sucks up the bubbles while you're drinking the tea. You'll find it a lot at, like, Asian food places. If you ever go, or, like, downtown, like, a big place, if you ever go to, like, an anime convention, some Asian restaurants will serve it. And then there are also often standalone bubble tea places. There's a place that we go to sometimes in the greater Portland area called Bubble Bubble. I don't remember exactly which suburb of Portland it is, but they do a pretty good bubble tea there. I started playing during the Hour Twilight patch in Kata. It was a fun time. Hour Twilight was good. That was a really great patch. Actually, most of the Kata patches were good. Anybody that started playing in Kata got off to a good start. I couldn't drink bubble tea. The bubbles weird me out a bit. A lot of people agree with you. That's a very common thing. And I don't judge anybody. It is weird. It's a weird thing. All right, so that was my parbic. So I need to take the crust out of the oven. My handy dandy glove. And there we go. So I remember to stab it in the bottom so it didn't get all like, so that's good. I'm going to keep washing my dishes. This needs to get to a boil. Come on now. Oh, you know what? It's hotter now. So it said boil for a few minutes, and then you want to let it cool down a bit. And I don't know how much I need to let it cool down before I bake it. It says when you're put the berry mixture in the fridge to cool until you're ready to make the tart. But if I'm ready to make the tart right now, I don't know if I need to cool it in the fridge. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. I'm going to cool it. Like, once it's boiled for a bit, I'll take it off the heat. I feel like I can just put it in there. We'll find out. Love you, Hazel. Thanks, Carolina. Thanks for stopping by the stream. If you could choose any race in the Warcraft universe to be playable, what could it be? Any race to be playable. Playable race, playable race. That's a hard one. I feel like they've already covered all the good ones. Not Murlocs, not Ogres, not Naga. Maybe Naga. I would prefer Naga to Ethereals. Ethereals never really did much for me. I feel like they wouldn't look good in armor. There's not enough different versions of them. I feel like you could do pretty good with Naga. I feel like if they made Naga a playable race, they could do some good stuff with it. I don't know how they would solve the whole pants problem. I think that would be an issue. Maybe you have Naga and they're only casters. No, because Naga can totally... Maybe the Nagas just don't wear pants. You know how trolls don't wear feet? Maybe Naga just don't wear pants. But I could see them going that road eventually. Probably not next expansion. And maybe not even the one after that, but at some point, maybe one day, when they finally run out of ideas but feel like, you know what, we gotta add something. It's new expansion time. We gotta add something to this game. Arakoa. Arakoa are neat. They kind of have the same problem with the pants. And I feel like Arakoa are more specific to, like, the Outland Draenor thing. You don't see them a lot outside of that. And whereas Naga are, like, everywhere. Naga show up all over the place. Naga have a more deep-rooted history, I think. I'm not 100% on that. I'm not a big lore person. I could be totally wrong. But I feel like Naga are a little bit more deep-rooted in the Warcraft. Loincloths. Do the Torrents Chew thing. Yeah, seriously. Ethereals were featured in BC. You filthy rat, baby. No, I know. I mean, I played through the BC content, just not when it was new. And there is an Ethereal in the Broken Shore. Thank you very much. He sells me my relinquished gear. Oh, man. I'm actually making good progress on cleaning up my kitchen. Alright, so that is officially boiling, and I feel like it's been boiling for a bit, so I'm going to give that a good stir. Take it off the heat. Let it cool out, because I feel like it's just going to get hot again in the oven. But I feel like if I try and pour it while it's like really hot, something bad will happen. I'm not sure what, but I should let it cool down at least a little bit. All Naga pants are skirts. A totally different evolved form of Nagas. I feel like they would do that, because remember before they added Worgen, there were Worgen in the game, but they had a completely different model. They definitely didn't have a female model. So if they did Nagas, they would probably create a brand new Naga model, much like they did with Worgen, and sort of redesign it to be the same thing, but like in a way that supports armor and animations and whatever better. Washing this blackberry or this raspberry goo down my kitchen sink, it's kind of giving me Breaking Bad flashbacks. You know that scene with like the bathtub? Yeah. It's funny talking about Naga pants because Naga means naked in Polish. I mean, if they don't wear pants, they're halfway there. Of the 6 areas of the Broken Isles, which was the worst for you to work in? The worst for me to work in? Like, level in? Or, like, make videos in? Because, I mean, it would be mostly just leveling. High Mountain and Stormheim were both annoying early on. High Mountain was mostly annoying because navigating it on foot was awful. And Stormheim was kind of the same way with, like, the big bridges and, like, the cliffs. Both of them have become leagues better now that you can... I'm going to run this through the dishwasher. Both of those things have become leagues better now that you can fly, and those issues are no longer really a factor. So, I would say those two were tough early on, but they're not really a problem anymore. Whew. Hazel is the one who knocks. Hazel's definitely not the one who knocks. Somebody's knocking, it's not me. Listening to you while playing Diablo, why not an actual demon race? Maybe some defected due to the events in Legion? Maybe. Have demons ever been shown to have any kind of a personality beyond doom? Like, I feel like that's the only note I've ever heard of it out of a demon. Also, it'd be really funny watching demon hunters fight alongside them. Although, I guess if, like, priests and warlocks can be buddies, then anything's possible. I did not like High Mountain. My wife hated the area. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous area. And one of my favorite memories of early Legion was climbing up that huge mountain in High Mountain for no reason. Just being like, man, there's a path here. It goes, like, really far up. And me and my buddy climbed all the way to the top of it. And we just, like, RP sat at the top of it. And we're like, man, this is a great view. And that's an experience I didn't really get from any of the other zones. But it comes at a price. Where's my spray? Found it. Try and get some of this dough off my counter while I'm waiting for this to chill out a little bit. Maybe I'll let that cool down more before I bake it, because basically the only thing we have left to do is put that in there, let that sit in there for a while, and then cool it down. And I'm not going to really keep streaming past the baking stage, because even when it comes out of the oven post-baking, I'm not going to be able to eat it for at least another 2 to 3 hours. Like, it needs to set. So I might just let my blueberries cool a little bit, just so I don't accidentally, like, do a bad thing, you know? Can I make an intro for you? I don't think I want to use an intro. I appreciate the offer. That's very generous of you, but I think I like just going right into the video to get to the information that people are looking for right away. We already have a lot of elves. I feel like we're set on elves for a while. If they ever did sub-races, then we would kind of have like 4 types of elves. Put your hand on the toaster. All right, there you go, buddy. There you go. We finally made it happen. Ugh. I like my High Mountain too because it makes me think of Native Americans. I kind of get a Canada vibe from it, which I guess is sort of the same gist. There we go. Although the voice acting on that one lady that gives you the world quests gets me. Like, it's hilarious and really annoying at the same time. You know the one I'm talking about. You know. Do cool it? Yeah, I'm gonna. I think the dancing costume outro is the best. I made a bunch of new ones, not recently, but like a little while ago. But it's not too bad for me to make more, so if I ever think of anything cute to put in an outro, then I will definitely set that up. I need to sweep again. I swept before I started this, because whenever I do the baking streams, I do them in bare feet, because it's, like, warm. But I hate stepping on anything that's not, like, perfectly clean floor, so I always sweep right beforehand. Wish we could be like the Suramar models. That would be a cool sub-race. Ogres and Naga, they're good at Warcraft 3. Nagas would be neat. Maybe instead of new races, sub-races. Yeah, I think the sub-races is a likely direction for them to go, assuming that they can do it without, like, investing too much time getting those running, because they have a history in recent expansions of making decisions that end up making a lot more work for them than I think they originally bargained for, like the whole garrisons thing. They're like, oh, garrisons, we can do all these buildings in all these different locations. And then they realized they needed to make all of these variants for different levels of them, for different types of them, for Horde and Alliance. They were like, you know what, we can't. Well, they did, but then that they spent a lot of their WoD development time doing that, and as a result, we didn't have a lot of other stuff in WoD. And then in Legion, they're like, you know what, we learned from the garrison thing, so no more garrisons, everyone's in Dalaran, and everybody gets to do their own individual class campaign with all of this crazy quest content, and we need to make, like, that much content 12 times over for each individual class. And I think now they've realized that, 11 out of 12 people, not quite because some people play alts, but for the most part, 11 out of 12 people won't see most of that. So that's not a great decision. So I think they're going to, I think that's the thing that might make them wary of making sub-races, is it's another thing where you're like, well, instead of making a whole new thing, we just reskin all of these other ones, which sounds easier, but it might not be when they get down to it. It's hard to say. You could build a golf course in the Torrent starting zone. What are we making today? We're trying to make a Bloodberry Tart. The end product I'm going to have to post on Twitter and Instagram, because it's going to have to chill once it comes out of the oven. So I'm not going to be able to, cut into it for a while, but I will definitely post pictures once I do to let you guys know how it turned out. Oh, maybe I can ask my husband to pick up some whipped cream or ice cream, because I feel like this would go really well with some ice cream. Nymph is a playable race? Ooh. Nymphs and centaurs would be neat. I know those are like the dryad stuff is very druidy, but I think it would be a really neat idea. Anyways, I am going to let that chill for a while. And then I'm going to bake that and then let it chill, and then I'll post some pictures. But until then, I am going to be done, and I'm going to try not to forget about my oven, but I've got some editing to do. So I am going to hop right off of here. Thank you so much for watching. I will be announcing at the beginning of August what our 2 baking streams will be for August. We're going to do, again, another 2 next month, and I'll announce those early in the month. If you are a supporter of me on Patreon, make sure that you keep an eye on Patreon so that you can vote for what thing you want to see made. I think we have to do cake pops because that tied for Bloodberry Tart. If I can figure out how to make cake pops. Anyways, we'll see. But thank you so much for coming, and I am so happy that nothing broke, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!